Listen carefully. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to wake you up. Every day, millions of people complain about being broke while scrolling on their phones for hours. They want a better life, but they don't want to move. They want more money, but they don't want discomfort. Here's the harsh truth. Nothing changes until you do. And if you want real money, real freedom, and a real future, you need to stop dreaming and start building real side hustles that actually make money. Not fantasies, not shortcuts, not excuses, real action, real results. The world today gives you more opportunities than ever before, yet most people still stay broke because they choose comfort over growth. They wait for the perfect moment while others take imperfect action and win. And let me tell you something loud and clear. Your bank balance is not determined by your talent. It's determined by your discipline. If you want to escape mediocrity, you must stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a creator, a leader, a fighter. Side hustles aren't just about extra money. They're about building a mindset that refuses to stay average. You want a real side hustle? Start with the skill you underestimate, the ability to communicate, sell, and market. Because if you can sell, you will never be poor. Copywriting, editing, designing, coaching, flipping products, affiliate marketing. These things pay because the world needs them today, not someday. People say, but I don't know where to start. Start anywhere. Just don't stay stuck. Motion creates momentum, and momentum creates money. Waiting creates nothing. You think money is built in comfort? No. Money comes from pressure, responsibility, consistency. You want a side hustle that works? Good. Now understand something. The hustle works only if you work. It pays only if you show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline beats motivation. Ownership beats excuses. And the marketplace rewards the person who does what others avoid. The world pays those who move fast, learn fast, and execute faster. That's why the top 1% stay on top. Not because they're smarter, but because they were relentless. Your life will not change by accident. It will change by decision. When you build a side hustle, you are not building money. You are building your character. You're training yourself to rely on your own abilities, not on a boss, not on luck, not on circumstances. You're learning how to turn your time into value and your value into income. That's how you break the cycle of fear. That's how you build financial confidence. That's how you win. Discipline creates money, not motivation. And this is the truth most people refuse to accept because it forces them to face their own laziness. Motivation feels good. It excites you. It sparks energy for a moment, but it burns out fast. Discipline stays when motivation disappears. Discipline shows up when you don't feel like working. Discipline pushes when your mind tries to negotiate comfort. And here's the hook. The world doesn't pay people who move only when they feel inspired. It pays people who move regardless of how they feel. Every successful person you see today built their life on discipline, not mood swings. Motivation might start your journey, but discipline finishes it. There are people who wake up every morning waiting for a sign, a burst of inspiration, a perfect moment to begin. They scroll through motivational videos, hype themselves up for 5 minutes, and then go right back to being stuck, broke, and frustrated. Why? Because motivation is emotion, and emotion is unstable. Discipline is a system. It's a decision you make once and enforce daily. It's the quiet agreement you sign with yourself that says, no matter how tired I am, no matter how stressful life gets, I will not break my commitment. And that commitment is where growth begins. Money flows to those who are consistent, not to those who are occasionally excited. If you want real side hustles that make money, discipline is your currency. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Most people talk about success. Disciplined people build it. Most people imagine a better future. Disciplined people create it step by step, day by day. You want another hook? Here it is. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Without discipline, you stay stuck at the starting line, watching others run ahead while you drown in excuses. With discipline, even the smallest daily actions compound into massive results. 5 consistent steps beat 50 random leaps every time. Think of the most profitable skills in the world. Marketing, sales, editing, branding, trading, communication. None of these skills are mastered through motivation alone. You don't become exceptional because you were in the mood. You become exceptional because you trained, practiced, failed, learned, and repeated. Motivation makes you try. Discipline makes you unstoppable. When you rely on discipline, you stop waiting for energy and start generating results. You stop being a prisoner of emotions and become a master of execution. People often say, I'll start when I have time, but disciplined people create time. They cut distractions, remove weak habits, and reshape their environment to support their goals. They understand a brutal truth. Your life is a reflection of what you repeatedly do, not what you occasionally wish for. If you scroll every day, you become a consumer. If you work every day, you become a creator. If you practice every day, you become skilled. If you take action every day, you become unstoppable. And unstoppable people make money because the world rewards reliability, consistency, and resilience. Discipline is a superpower because almost nobody has it. The world is full of talented people who quit, intelligent people who hesitate, and motivated people who never follow through. But disciplined people, they rise always. They separate themselves without shouting, without bragging, without seeking validation. Their results speak louder than their emotions. Their consistency builds a reputation, and that reputation becomes income, opportunities, and influence. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to be the strongest. You just need to be disciplined enough to outlast everyone who gives up. If you want money, you must be reliable. If you want growth, you must be consistent. If you want freedom, you must be disciplined long before the results appear. Real side hustles don't reward intensity. They reward dedication. Anyone can work hard for one day. Champions work hard every day. That is the difference. That is the power. And that is exactly why discipline, not motivation, makes you wealthy. Skills beat luck every single time because luck is unpredictable, unstable, and uncontrollable. While skill is something you build, sharpen, and carry with you for life. Luck might give you a moment of opportunity, but skill ensures you can recognize it, use it, and multiply it. People love blaming luck for their failures because it allows them to avoid responsibility. It's easier to say I'm unlucky than to say I never learned anything valuable. But here's the hook. The world does not reward people who wait for fortune. It rewards people who prepare for it. Skills make you powerful in any market, in any economy, in any environment, because skills create value and value always gets paid. Every rich person you admire didn't rise because they waited for luck to knock on their door. They mastered skills that others ignored. They learned how to sell, how to negotiate, how to communicate, how to build, how to lead. They weren't praying for opportunities. They were preparing for them. And when the opportunity came, they were ready to execute. The average person wastes years hoping things will magically change, while skilled individuals spend those same years leveling up, practicing, failing, correcting, improving. And here's another hook. Skill is the only investment that never loses value. Money can disappear, trends can fade, but skills stay with you forever. Think about it. The marketplace doesn't care about how badly you want success. It cares about how much value you can provide. The more skills you have, the more valuable you become. The more valuable you become, the more money you attract. It's simple, but people hate simplicity because it exposes their lack of effort. Skills turn you from replaceable to unstoppable. They give you leverage, confidence, and independence. When you can write persuasive words, edit videos, create designs, close deals, build brands, or solve problems, you're no longer begging for opportunities. You're creating them. Most people look at someone successful and say, they're lucky. No, they're skilled. They're disciplined. They invested thousands of hours into building abilities others were too lazy to master. Luck might open a door, but only skill allows you to walk through it, stay inside, and build a home there. Imagine two people given the same chance. One skilled, one unskilled. The skilled person builds success. The unskilled person wastes it. That's why relying on luck is a losing strategy. Skill ensures that when life gives you a window, you don't just admire it, you climb through it. Here's another truth. Most won't accept. If you don't have skills, you don't have options. You become dependent on circumstances, on people, on jobs, on timing. But when you have skills, you become self-sufficient. You can earn anywhere, create anywhere, adapt anywhere. Skills turn you into a weapon, sharp, valuable, and irreplaceable. And here's the hook you need to remember. Skills make you free because skills make you needed. People pay those who can solve problems. People chase those who can deliver results. People trust those who know what they're doing. Think about the digital world we live in. Right now, someone is earning thousands from a laptop because they built a skill like writing, editing, coding, designing, or marketing. Someone else is complaining that nothing ever works for them. The difference isn't luck, it's preparation. The world has shifted. Skills are the new currency. A person with skills can build side hustles, businesses, networks, income streams. A person without skills can only build excuses. And excuses don't pay. Skills turn time into money. Skills turn ideas into income. Skills turn effort into results. And the best part, skills compound. The more you learn, the faster you learn. The more you practice, the better you become. The better you become, the more you earn. It's a cycle of growth that never stops as long as you keep sharpening yourself. Luck might visit once, skills stay forever. That's why skills beat luck. And that's why your future depends not on chance, but on what you choose to learn today. Action is the shortcut everyone is searching for, yet it's the one thing most people refuse to take. They spend their lives overthinking, planning, doubting, asking for permission, and waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. Action is what separates the people who talk about success from the people who actually experience it. And here's the hook. The longer you wait to start, the longer you wait to win. Nothing changes until you move. Nothing improves until you act. Life doesn't reward intentions, it rewards execution. Most people convince themselves they need more time, more information, more confidence before they begin. They create a list of imaginary requirements that must be fulfilled before they allow themselves to start. But every successful person you admire began before they felt ready. They took messy steps, made mistakes, faced uncertainty, and learned along the way. They understood one powerful truth. Clarity is not found at the starting line, it is found through movement. Action reveals the next step, the next idea, the next opportunity. Inaction reveals nothing but regret. And that regret grows heavier with every silent day you let pass. When you take action, you tap into a force most people never experience, momentum. Even a small action can ignite momentum so powerful, it changes your entire direction. Momentum makes things easier. It turns effort into habit, fear into confidence, and discipline into identity. But here's another hook. Momentum only exists for those who begin. You can't think your way into momentum. You can't dream your way into progress. You can only act your way into success. The universe responds to movement. Doors open for those who knock. Opportunities appear for those who step forward. People spend years searching for shortcuts, secret formulas, and quick hacks. They buy courses, watch motivational videos, and binge strategies, hoping something will magically change their life. But the real shortcut has always been action. Start earlier, start faster, start before you're completely prepared. That alone puts you miles ahead of the average person who wastes their life waiting. Action compresses time. 1 week of consistent action can outdo a year of passive thinking. One bold step can achieve what 100 excuses never will. Think about how side hustles succeed. Not because someone had a perfect plan, but because someone took the first imperfect step. They posted the first video, wrote the first article, sold the first product, made the first call, learned the first skill. They didn't wait for confidence. They built confidence through attempts. They didn't wait to become excellent. They became excellent by showing up again and again until excellence became normal. This is the truth most people avoid. Action eliminates fear. The moment you start, fear loses power. You stop imagining the worst and start experiencing progress. Action exposes your real potential. Most people think they know what they're capable of, but they're wrong. They've never pushed themselves far enough to discover their true limits. You don't know your strength until you challenge yourself. You don't know your abilities until you test them. You don't know your opportunities until you chase them. Action is the mirror that shows you who you can become, not who you think you are. The person you want to be is built by the actions you take daily, not by the dreams you think about quietly. When you act, you learn. When you act, you adapt. When you act, you grow. Every step teaches you something valuable. What works, what doesn't, what needs improving, what needs removing. Even the wrong action teaches more than inaction ever will. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. And every failure you face through action moves you closer to mastery. Every hesitation keeps you stuck in the same place, living the same life, repeating the same excuses. Action is the difference between potential and achievement, between fantasy and reality, between talking and winning. If you want progress, act. If you want results, act. If you want a future that looks different from your present, act. Because the truth is simple. Action is the only shortcut that exists and the only shortcut that works. Your mindset determines your earnings Because every action you take, every risk you choose, every opportunity you notice or ignore comes directly from how you think. A weak mindset creates a weak life. A strong mindset creates a powerful one. People love to blame the world for their situation, but the world isn't holding them back. Their mindset is. And here's the hook that cuts deep. Your income will never rise higher than the standards you set in your own mind. If you think small, you earn small. If you think like a victim, you live like one. But when you shift your thinking, everything in your life begins to shift with it. Most people don't realize this. They're poor long before they're broke. They're mentally defeated before life defeats them. They expect failure, so they don't try. They fear embarrassment, so they avoid attempts. They cling to comfort, so they never evolve. The mindset you carry dictates your behavior, and your behavior dictates your results. It's not a mystery. It's not luck. It's the psychology you choose to operate from every day. And the painful truth is, many people sabotage their success without even realizing it. They have dreams in their heart, but doubts in their mind, so they move with hesitation. And hesitation kills ambition. Your mindset is the filter through which you see the world. When it's negative, everything looks impossible. When it's limited, everything feels out of reach. But when it's strong, disciplined, and hungry, you start seeing opportunities everywhere. You start believing in solutions instead of problems. You start creating doors instead of waiting for someone to open them. And here's another hook. People with a powerful mindset become unstoppable because they are willing to do what weak minds avoid. They step into challenges. They embrace pressure. They use discomfort as fuel rather than fear. Think about people who rise from nothing. They don't get lucky. They get intentional. They rewire their thinking to match the future they want, not the past they came from. They stop saying, I can't, to start asking, how can I? They stop avoiding risks and start evaluating them. They stop blaming circumstances and start controlling their responses. This shift in mindset transforms everything: your work ethic, your habits, your discipline, your resilience. When your mindset strengthens, your actions sharpen. And when your actions sharpen, your earnings grow. Your mindset also determines your tolerance for discomfort, and that tolerance plays a direct role in how much money you make. Weak minds run away from discomfort. Strong minds run towards it. Weak minds want guarantees. Strong minds create certainty by outworking everyone else. Weak minds stop at the first sign of struggle. Strong minds understand struggle is part of the path. And here's a powerful hook. Your greatest advantage in life is not your intelligence, your environment, or your background. It's your mental toughness. The stronger your mindset, the fewer limits you have. If you want to elevate your earnings, you must elevate your expectations of yourself. You must stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a creator. You must stop thinking in terms of survival and start thinking in terms of scale. You must stop thinking, I hope this works, and start thinking, I will make this work. Money flows to people who think with clarity, purpose, and confidence. Money avoids people who move with doubt, fear, and confusion. Your mindset either attracts success or repels it. The truth is simple but uncomfortable. You are living the life your mindset has allowed. If you want more, you must become more. You must challenge your beliefs, confront your excuses, and reject the stories that keep you small. Every upgrade in your earnings starts with an upgrade in your mind. And the moment you decide to think like a winner, act like a winner, and expect results like a winner, you begin moving toward a life that matches that energy. That is the power of a strong mindset. That is the foundation of every achievement. And that is why your mindset, not your circumstances, ultimately determines your earnings. Comfort is the enemy of wealth because comfort keeps you still while success requires movement. Comfort locks you inside routines that feel good but produce nothing. Comfort convinces you that later is an option, that tomorrow is guaranteed, that one day will magically arrive and fix everything. But nothing destroys potential faster than comfort, because comfort makes you forget your hunger. And here's the hook. Every time you choose comfort, you are silently choosing to stay exactly where you are. Wealth demands expansion, and expansion only happens when you step beyond the limits of what feels easy. Most people live their entire lives trapped in a bubble of familiarity. They wake up the same way, think the same thoughts, follow the same habits, chase the same routines, and then wonder why nothing in their life changes. They want a different result without a different effort. They want a new income with the same mindset. They want freedom, but cling to comfort like a security blanket. But comfort is not safety. It is slow decay. Success Growth and wealth live on the edges of discomfort. The people who rise are those who are willing to feel the pressure others run from. You don't build muscles without resistance. And you don't build wealth without challenge. Every meaningful skill in your life came from discomfort, learning something new, failing, repeating, improving. Discomfort is the training ground for greatness. It is the classroom where discipline is learned, resilience is formed, and confidence is earned. And here's another hook. Discomfort is not your enemy. It is your evolution in disguise. The very things you avoid are the things that would strengthen you. The tasks you procrastinate are the tasks that would change you. The risks you fear are the risks that would free you. Comfort teaches you nothing. It keeps you predictable, soft, and stagnant. It turns your dreams into daydreams and your potential into excuses. People choose comfort because discomfort exposes truth. Truth about their weaknesses, their fears, their lack of discipline. But until you face that truth, you cannot rise. The moment you step outside your comfort zone, you step into a world of possibility. You begin discovering abilities you didn't know you had, strengths you never tested, and opportunities you never saw. You realize that discomfort isn't pain, it's progress. Think about every successful person you admire. They didn't reach the top by staying comfortable. They pushed beyond exhaustion, beyond fear, beyond doubt. They pursued mastery, not convenience. They accepted challenges that others avoided. They understood a simple but powerful principle. If it's easy, it won't change you. If it's difficult, it will shape you. And here's a hook that cuts deep. If you want a life that feels different, you must do things that feel different. Comfort will never lead you to your highest level. It will only lead you to the level you've already reached. Wealth demands effort, risk, and courage. It demands that you learn skills, build new habits, sacrifice distractions, and confront your limitations. None of that is comfortable. But everything you want exists beyond comfort. The financial freedom you desire, the confidence you seek, the lifestyle you imagine, all of it is outside the boundary of ease. You either cross that boundary or you stay trapped inside the same predictable cycle. And the cycle of comfort is brutal because it convinces you that you're okay when deep down you know you're capable of so much more. The real pain in life isn't discomfort. It's regret. The regret of knowing you could have done more, learned more, earned more, become more, but chose to stay in a place that felt safe. That regret grows heavier with time, while discomfort grows lighter with repetition. What feels hard today soon becomes normal, and what becomes normal soon becomes your strength. That's why discomfort is the gateway to transformation. Comfort might feel good in the moment, but discomfort pays dividends for a lifetime. Every major breakthrough in your life will come after a moment of discomfort. The first step, the first risk, the first attempt, the first failure. You grow through what challenges you, not through what soothes you. And that is why comfort will always be the enemy of wealth, and discomfort will always be the pathway to it. The ultimate goal of a side hustle isn't just money, it's freedom. Freedom from depending on one paycheck, freedom from asking permission to live your life, freedom from the limits others place on you. A side hustle is not about earning a few extra dollars. It's about building a life where you control your time, your choices, and your future. And here's the hook. When you build a side hustle, you're not just creating income, you're creating independence. Most people don't realize how trapped they are until they experience what it feels like to earn on their own terms. Money matters, yes, but control matters more. When you rely on a single job for survival, you're giving someone else power over your lifestyle. One decision from a boss, one downturn in a company, one unexpected event can change everything. But when you have a side hustle that grows into a real income stream, you take back that control. You no longer live in fear of uncertainty. You create certainty through your own effort. And this is the hook most people overlook. Freedom isn't handed to you, freedom is built. Every hour you invest in your side hustle is an hour invested in your future autonomy. The moment you start earning from your own skills, something powerful happens. Your confidence shifts, your identity evolves. You stop seeing yourself as someone who needs opportunities and start seeing yourself as someone who creates them. You begin to understand that your value is not defined by a job title, but by what you know, what you can do, and what you can build. A side hustle turns you from a passive participant in life into an active architect of your destiny. And with every sale, every client, every result, that feeling grows stronger. People often think success is about income alone, but true success is about freedom. The freedom to wake up without panic, the freedom to spend time with family, the freedom to work from anywhere, the freedom to build something that is yours, something no one can take away. And here's another hook. When you have multiple income streams, life stops happening to you and starts happening for you. You stop reacting and start designing. You stop relying and start leading. A side hustle teaches you discipline, resilience, focus, and confidence, traits that build wealth, but also build character. You learn how to solve problems. You learn how to communicate. You learn how to provide value. These skills become your lifelong companions, your lifelong assets. Even if you lose everything, your skills allow you to rebuild. That is the beauty of creating something of your own. It makes you unshakable. The world can change. The economy can shift. Companies can collapse. But skills and independence protect you. What makes a side hustle so powerful is the mindset it forces you to adopt. You begin to see time differently. Instead of wasting hours, you invest them. Instead of chasing comfort, you chase growth. Instead of blaming circumstances, you take responsibility for outcomes. This mindset alone can change your entire life because it removes excuses and replaces them with possibility. And here's a strong hook. Once you taste the freedom of earning even a little money independently, your mind can never go back to being dependent. You become addicted to the power of self-creation. As your side hustle grows, so does your belief in yourself, and belief is fuel, the kind of fuel that transforms an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. When you realize you can build something from zero, you stop fearing failure. When you realize you can generate your own income, you stop fearing uncertainty. When you realize you have value outside of a job, you stop fearing limits. Freedom is not just a financial state, it's a mental state. And a side hustle is the path that builds both. The truth is simple. Every hour spent building your side hustle is a vote for your future freedom. It is a declaration that you refuse to live small, refuse to depend entirely on others, refuse to settle. Your side hustle becomes your shield, your foundation, your path to liberty. Money gives you choices, but a side hustle gives you the power to create those choices. And once you claim that power, every part of your life begins to elevate. That is why a side hustle is not simply about earning. It's about freeing the strongest version of yourself. So here's my final message to you. If you want a life that feels powerful, you must choose actions that feel uncomfortable. If you want money that stays, you must build skills that matter. Stop telling yourself one day, make this the day, make this the moment. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It responds to your effort. Build your side hustle. Build your freedom. Build a life that pays you for your strength, your discipline, your hunger. Because once you decide to take control, your success is not just possible, it's inevitable. If you want this speech extended, more aggressive, calmer, or more powerful, just tell me.